Has the Ford Maverick increased by 25% in price? Well, sort of. We're going to be talking about that today. Price increases on the Ford Maverick. Should you buy? And if you've already bought, what can you do to protect your original price? So really important because, well, on a certain model, the Ford Maverick has increased 25% overall in price since it was originally announced. So we'll be talking about a bit of the math behind that and a whole lot more. So should you order a Ford Maverick? What should you do if you already have ordered a Ford Maverick to get pretty much your original price to be protected? So I'm Johnny from Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. I'm here to help you with all your automobile purchasing. So really buyer's advice, and prices are going up everywhere. Every manufacturer is increasing prices except for Tesla, which is decreasing prices at the moment. And actually the Mustang Mach-E, there will be a price decrease coming along, and people who have recently bought are supposed to benefit from that. But let's talk about more about that in our live Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. where we cover just a whole lot. Let's put the pedal to the metal on this recent price increase on the Ford Maverick and what you can really do about it. So pedal to the metal, let's get started. I'm Johnny from Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, and if you want to help us out and get information that will help you out, just hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and the bell notification. So Ford has increased the price on the Maverick. Now, it doesn't seem like much, and it's not that bad really. It's $500. So $100 for destination, as well as $400 added to all trim levels, the XL, the XLT, as well as the Lariat. So there's the news for you. But let's turn back the clock. When we went from the 2022 model to the 2023 model, generally all the models increased by roughly $1,000. So now we're actually looking at a $1,500 price increase over, well, what's less than really a 6-month period, less than 6 months. So in just under 6 months time, an XL, which was originally pretty much rounded up $20,000, now with the new prices, it's 25% more. And that's because the current price is just under $23,000. Now, if you're looking at, let's say, a $30,000 Maverick, well, then the price increase is only a 5% price increase for the last two price increases. That's the price increase when we went from a 2022 model to a 23 model, as well as the current $500 price increase. Now, what can you do to be protected against all of this? What should you do? Well, first of all, let's talk about people who haven't ordered yet. My advice to you is ignore a lot of the talk on YouTube that's saying that prices are gonna, drastically decrease this year. I've been saying it for many months now, and actually I've been saying it for 2 years that prices would increase. And I'm going to continue to say it. Prices are going to continue to either increase or continue to be similar. So what can you do with this information? Well, when the Maverick can be ordered, again, when order banks open up once again, order one right away, as soon as possible. Because people that did order one back in September, well, guess what? Your price is going to be protected all throughout the year as long as you get a 2023. So what you can do is make sure you get your Maverick built as a 2023 to benefit from that original price before the increases that are going to continue to happen throughout the year. And when your vehicle does come in, well, what can you really do? You got to have your original paperwork so you know what you ordered at. And hopefully your dealership is going to know what to do and you won't have any issues. If they don't know what to do, remind them, this is the price I ordered at, this is the price I'm going to pay. You also locked in that original interest rate. Now, if you have any troubles, you can always call Ford customer service. And what if you do get carried over? Or if you're currently a carryover? What is a carryover, you might ask? A carryover is someone, let's say, who ordered a 2022 Maverick, couldn't get built, and is now a 2023 Maverick. Or if you've currently ordered a 23 and you end up getting built as a 2024 model year because you get built, let's say, next December or December 2023, you're going to be considered a carryover. Well, Ford has been providing special incentives. So if you are a 2022 to 2023 carryover, do call Ford. First, talk to your dealer. If they don't know what to do, call Ford customer service. You currently have a special price for you, a special incentive, as long as you ordered before those sold out dates. So for the hybrid, that was November 15th and 2021, and January 27th for the EcoBoost, and that's January 27th, 2022. If you have an order from before then, you have a special incentive from Ford. Ford's helping you out, and that's going to make your Maverick come in actually at an incredible price, just like anyone that ordered this year, or will, if order banks open up again, order again a 23. Well, you'll go through the same process if ever you get built as a 24. But I'd say the important thing to try to do is try to get built as a 2023 model, just in case Ford were to decide not to give us special incentives for those that get carried over. And that's currently happening. You know, my suspicion is because currently on Broncos, if you're original reserver of a Bronco and you haven't been built yet, you need to make your Bronco buildable, because you're not going to get any special advantage if you end up getting built as a 2024 model year Bronco. So there's talk that this is, you know, basically for many models, we can likely suspect. For the Bronco, it's certain, but for many models, we can suspect that you really need to start getting built within your proper year. And that's why Ford is giving advice on, you know, tips and tricks on how to get built. And I'll be sharing all those with you because I want you to get built. I want you to benefit from the best price possible. And I want you to know that as far as I'm concerned, I've been saying it for 2 years, that prices would go up. And I'm going to continue to say it. Prices are either going to stay the same or continue to go up. So anyone who's sitting back, imagine someone a year and a half ago that said, hey, what is this? A price increase? Interest rates? Well, first they would have said a price increase. I'm not going to order. I'll wait until prices come down. Well, since then, prices have gone up and interest rates have also gone up. So vehicles are considerably more expensive. And I really do see the future as vehicles continuing to become more expensive. The Maverick has been an incredible sales hit, selling about twice as many Mavericks as Santa Cruz models. And that's with Ford being very limited in production, because the demand for these, they could produce twice as many and they would all be sold just the same. So someone at Ford, you know, we do know that Ford recently, Jim Farley announced that there's a $2 billion loss, that, you know, more or less saying it wouldn't have been lost profit if we wouldn't have been going through all these constraints and all the issues that we've been going through in the last 2 years. So there's $2 billion on the table to make up. For some model Mavericks, going up only 5%. If you got a $30,000 Maverick, a $1,500 increase over 6 months, well, that's roughly 5%. That's not bad. That's pretty much inflation for 6 months. But if you've gone up 25%, well, we could, you know, jokingly deduct that the XL just wasn't expensive enough to start off with. Ford is building some Fleet XLs that we saw when we were down in St. Augustine, Florida. We got to see some Fleet XL Mavericks looking pretty good. And Ford, it's been pretty great. They've listened to us. They added cruise control to the XL model. But that original just under $20,000 price tag, just quite what clearly wasn't enough. Ford could sell hundreds of thousands of these XLs, so they brought up the price a little. That'll help a little with demand. But right now, one trick to getting a Maverick is not trying to get an XL. There's way too much demand. Ford can produce and will be producing about 15% of the Mavericks as XL. So if you want to get built, consider an XL. And do recall now that EcoBoost is now a no charge option. Originally it was $1,000 to go up to an EcoBoost, and now there's no charge for an EcoBoost. And Lariats come as, well, all-wheel drive if you go with the EcoBoost. So neat for that. So do take a look at this small truck. I highly recommend it. I've driven them for quite a bit. I've driven them on a small little like mini racetrack, and that was quite fun. This thing handles great, and I've driven them pretty hard in real world conditions, in the real world. And going through corners, this thing handles fantastically. It doesn't handle at all like a truck. It's really solid, planted. It's fun to drive, and I've driven both the EcoBoost and the hybrid, and I actually love both. The EcoBoost has a ton of power versus the weight of the vehicle. So the power to weight ratio on the EcoBoost is incredible. And it can work pretty hard. It can tow 4,000 pounds if you take the 4K package, whereas the hybrid, it is dead silent most of the time. But if you're hard on the pedal, if you're more of a pedal to the metal type, the hybrid, when you're pedal to the metal, is quite loud. And the EcoBoost will give you probably that, if you're more someone that likes the thrills of accelerating quickly, well, with an EcoBoost, it's actually going to run more quietly if you're hard on the pedal. But if you aren't hard on the pedal, well, the hybrid is just, it feels it sounds luxurious because it has a very, very quiet ride. When you're in hybrid mode, you hear, well, the wheels turning in the wind. So it's a vehicle that impresses me. I'm not surprised at all that Ford is having trouble delivering enough of these versus the demand. And a lot of people will blame Ford and, you know, be upset about this, that they're offering a truck that they're just not giving out to anyone, and that, you know, it's a bait and switch. This isn't a bait and switch situation. This is a situation of, even if Ford builds 150,000 of these, there's far more demand. There's for a while probably going to continue to be double the demand than what they can produce if they're producing 150,000 of these. Yearly demand is probably more around 300,000-400,000 to satisfy the market. So do keep that in mind. My suggestion to you all is, as soon as you can get a reservation on one of these, put an order in. Do work to get price protected. You know, talk about it with your dealership. Make it clear from the beginning when you order that that's the price you expect to pay. But do realize, expect to pay that price only if it's in a orderable time period. Let's say a dealer lets you put in an order now. That's not an order going directly to Ford, freezing your 23 price, because right now order banks are closed. But when order banks are open, I'll announce it to you all and we'll remind you, now this is a time period where you can freeze in your Maverick price, as well as freeze in, you know, lock in that interest rate. So I'm Johnny from Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. I look forward to seeing and hearing from you and answering your questions on Monday lives at 7:30 p.m. Please do consider hitting the subscribe button with the bell notification so you don't miss any information to help save you thousands of dollars. And until next time, I wish you all more cars.